The biggest question I have been asked since one of my last videos convinced a lot of new people to try Scum is, how do I get started? This really is a great question, as Scum has a pretty high skill floor compared to some other survival games. However, it really isn't that difficult, and by the end of this video, you should be able to somewhat survive. Ladies and gentlemen, it's UncleSamsDevil. Let's get into this. So you've booted up Scum and you're eager to join a server. I do recommend that you come try ours. You simply type in UncleSamsDevil in the search bar and the server should pull up. Be sure to come join the Discord as well. The link will be in the description. After selecting a server and starting character creation, the most important thing at this point is having an idea of your goals and methods for survival. The character creation menu is quite fleshed out and provides ample opportunity to create a character with strengths that appeal to your playstyle. I typically go with age 31 on my characters as it provides the best age multiplier for the different stat categories, in my opinion. With the body build, there are different things you can do. The more muscular the character, the higher the strength, but the lower the dexterity and intelligence. If you're skinny, you'll be able to run fast, but carry less and have less recoil control. You can play around with this and find the balance that suits your needs. I like to make my characters a balance between heavy and muscular that leans on the muscular side simply because of the stats that offers. Gender, head type, and tattoos are all cosmetic, but concealed mode is a very good way to prevent me from being demonetized even though I'm not monetized. Now this category right here is vitally important. Will you sacrifice stats to satisfy your ego? Or will you choose to be poorly endowed to gain an intellectual advantage that could mean the difference between survival and death? It's up to you. On a serious note, attribute allocations are extremely important and will dictate your success in various aspects of Scum. For the strength skills, you should certainly spec into melee weapons at least to medium skill level. Then I would recommend putting points into rifles and either handguns or archery, whichever you're interested in using. Personally, I always put endurance as high as I possibly can while still having running at medium skill. Having good endurance is going to prevent you from running out of stamina quickly and likely save your life in various scenarios. On dexterity skills, I recommend putting points into driving, and then the rest is personal preference, but you should consider stealth if you are interested in sneaking around quietly to avoid conflict with the AI. The intelligence skills are all very viable. However, as a beginner, you probably won't be sniping anytime soon, so you can avoid that skill if you'd like. Awareness is a complex skill. It's used as a direct counter to the camouflage skill. When an opposing player is prone, a check is conducted to see if the player is camouflaged from view of you. If your awareness level is higher than their camouflage level, they will render in. If you lose the calculation, then the other player will not render in and still be camouflaged. The skill also deals with the unfair advantages of using third person over first. If a player is out of your sight and you are looking at them in first person, then they will also render out of sight in third person. Awareness determines for how long you're able to see them as well as hear them after you've peeked out from cover to first spot them. The camouflage skill affects how easily you blend into cover when squatting or prone, making you harder to spot at higher skill levels. The camouflage system in Scum makes players disappear from view similarly to how you cannot see players around corners in third-person view. The camouflage skill level is the largest factor in negating an enemy's skill and awareness. Camouflage clothing matching the environment will certainly aid in this, as will movement speed and whether you are prone or crouched, and whether you are in a bush. Moving or turning will destroy your invisibility, though crouch walking through a brush will keep you invisible at a distance with high camouflage skill levels. The survival skill allows you to complete tasks faster and have a more advanced compass with each level. If you have any interest in base building, you should spec into engineering to at least medium skill. I suggest leveling survival, awareness, camouflage, and engineering to fit your specific needs. As a new player, spawning into the map for the first time can be a little bit overwhelming, and most people aren't sure what to do. Your scroll wheel will be what allows you to control the speed of your character from a walk all the way up to a jog or a sprint. The first thing you need to do is find some rocks. 2 small rocks can craft a stone knife if you press tab and head over to the crafting menu. Then find a small tree or bush and cut it down. The stone knife can then be used to craft long sticks into improvised wooden spears. You might as well go ahead and craft 2 of them. The next thing isn't something that I often do anymore, but it can be extremely useful to new players. Gather 5 small wooden sticks left over from cutting a bush or tree and craft some improvised rope. Then, cut your underwear and socks into rags, which will give you 3 rags. Combine that with the improvised rope, and you'll be able to craft an improvised backpack. When you have your spears and your backpack, it's time to head to a point of interest. I would recommend staying away from military bunkers until you get your bearings if you're a new player. The chances of you surviving them, especially alone, are slim. However, there are plenty of POIs that aren't bunkers, and if you can make your way to one, you're certain to find some quality loot. At larger POIs, mechs patrol the premises and are a major source of stress for newer players, but circumnavigating them is quite easy with practice. It's all about timing and pathing, and knowing when to make a move across the area that's covered by the mechs. Puppets will still be everywhere within points of interest, and you need to have a spear or another melee weapon in hand at all times. If rushed by a puppet, hold your ground. Striking them with melee weapons will stagger them and allow you to win the fight. If you happen to get shot by a mech or hit by puppets and escape the situation, you will almost certainly be bleeding. Clothing items can be cut into rags and then used as bandages to patch your wounds with. Another basic question that is typically asked by new players is how to eat and drink. When you've found food items, you can simply pick them up into your hands or inventory, then open the tab menu, right-click on them, and select Eat or Drink. You can also drink from rivers and lakes as well. As soon as you obtain any kind of food or beverage, you should eat or drink it, even if your food and hydration still show 100%. It is imperative that you get your calorie intake and hydration up early so they don't crash. When you press tab and go to the metabolism menu, you can view your calorie intake and usage and know whether you need to start eating or not. The rest of the metabolism menu isn't game altering and you can ignore it for now. Something else that might slip people's mind is urinating and defecating in Scum. Currently, when your character needs to do either of these things, it will notify you on the screen by the bottom left UI, but it's also best to stay ahead on these. The last thing you need is to be running from puppets and to drop into a squat. That's going to wrap it up for this one. These are many of the things that beginners need to know about to have any chance of success in Scum. Ladies and gentlemen, it's UncleSamsDevil. I'll see you in the next one.